Last of Us Part 2 has always been my most anticipated game of all time, ever since I beat the first one 7 years ago. The first game, I think, is perfection. It's my favorite game of all time. And knowing that the second one was coming up, Neil Druckmann coming back, and Ellie and Joel becoming inside this game, I was so stoked out of my mind, but I was also worried, because how do you beat perfection? How do you beat it? You have to be just as good, or maybe even just a little bit better. When the leaks came out for this game, I was sadly spoiled by an asshole, and I knew many of the things, which we will talk about very soon. There will be no spoilers in the beginning of this video, just so everyone knows. This is going to be more of a laid-back discussion type video. The first half of this video will not have spoilers. Do be warned about the comment section. And but once I get the spoilers, I'll let you guys know. This is a hard game to talk about without spoilers. But, you know, I got spoiled. I wasn't happy about it, but I was still willing to kind of have an open mind about it. I thought people were kind of freaking out because they didn't know the context of certain things that were happening, and for me, you know, I was kind of feeling the same way. I wasn't freaking out, but I was like, all right, let me see the execution. Game comes out, and it opens up, and I'm like, this is perfect. From beginning to end, I loved this game. There's a couple sequences in the middle where I felt, okay, I got to see how this pays off. I got to see where this goes, because I didn't sit right with it. But as the game went on, I fell in love with that risk. I fell in love with what Neil Druckmann and his team was able to do on this game. And I can't emphasize enough how I think The Last of Us Part 2 is a masterpiece. How I feel that The Last of Us Part 2 is an experience of its own. A brutal, bloody, grisly, emotional, but overall perfected piece of art that now we have. If The Last of Us Part 2 was a movie, and I love talking movies, this would be my favorite film probably of 2020. And I'm not ready to say this is my favorite game of all time because the first one still is, and I'm not even ready to say that it's better than the first game. It is better in many different ways, but I think it rivals it just like this. If the first game was that stepping stone, it's like they took a giant stone and topped it right on top of it and said, hey, that was just the beginning. And that's truly what it feels like. The first game feels so small compared to this one. The first game really was a coming-of-age story for Ellie. And in this one, it's a total revenge-style story. One that really, Naughty Dog has talked about how violence is just natural. It's a cycle. And the way that they deal with that violence in a cycle in here, the story can feel repetitive at times, but it's meant to be because of that recycling nature. And the way that it kind of reflects our world today compared to a post-apocalyptic world is probably one of my favorite outstanding things that this game was able to really get down inside of it. So, The Last of Us Part 2. It's a masterpiece, yeah. If you guys are new here and you guys enjoy content like this on a daily basis, if you guys love talking geeky content, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button so you don't miss out on content like this all the time over here, as well as comment down below your guys' thoughts. I really want to have a great discussion down below. If you have played the game and you don't like this game at all, please let me know down below why you didn't. I'm really curious to hear your guys' thoughts, and if you agree with me, awesome, let's discuss it. I can't emphasize enough, though, that if you're just going off spoilers and what everyone else is saying, really grab this game and make your own opinion on it. If you love the first game, you should really still check this one out. I'm really curious to have, like, conversations with my friends about this game because I don't know anyone else who has beaten this game yet. So I am very excited to have these conversations. I want to have them with you guys. The Last of Us Part 2, let's just get straight back into it. This is, again, a tough game to talk about without spoilers, so technically, let's just get that out of the way. The gameplay in here is fantastic. I love how much brutal, how much faster paced at times it is, and even in general, how much the stealth was improved in this one. You know, replaying the first one just a couple days before Part 2 came out, you can really feel it aging in the combat, the gameplay, the puzzle mechanics, all that sorts of stuff. And it feels like The Last of Us Part 2, of course, is elevated from that. I feel like it's a little bit more fast paced when it comes down to the puzzle mechanics, to exploring, to wondering what's going to go on, and these bigger environments they put you in. You know, definitely the beginning of the game's a little bit bigger. The rest of the game kind of gets a little bit more linear, but I can really put this out there and say that some of the environments you still fight in are huge. This game is vast, and it's an epic one. It's an epic revenge story in a lot of different ways, and a lot of different parallels and perspectives that really come into play, and there's something in here that I really just love, and again, we're going to talk about it. It's really hard to talk about. I'm trying to get all my non-spoiler stuff out of the way so some of you guys can enjoy it. Yeah, technically this game's beautiful. The graphics are outstanding. I mean, I can't wait to see what they do with the PS5 upgrade for this game, because I already know it's going to be freaking amazing. The graphics for here look realistic. I mean, these are probably the best graphics of this console genre and generation. I was absolutely stunned by how amazing these graphics were. And yeah, is that all I can really talk about? Oh, the score was great. Gustavo does another excellent job with the score. He does a great job with the first one, but he adds a couple more notes into this one that really just centers around everything into another type of light. I think that's it. I literally think that's all I can talk about without talking spoilers. Let's just talk about it. Spoiler warning right now. If you have not played The Last of Us Part 2 or you just don't care about spoilers, I'm going to get into the spoilers right now. And that is, really this video is just me venting to the camera about how I feel, because I literally just beat the game and all my thoughts kind of coming out about it. There will be many more videos coming about The Last of Us Part 2 in the coming days to weeks. I'm definitely going to go back through this game. So yeah, spoiler warning right now. The Last of Us Part 2. Again, I think it's a masterpiece. I think it's fucking perfect. Joel dies! Oh, shit, yeah. I was spoiled on that. The three things that I was spoiled on the most was told that Joel dies, I was told that you play as Abby, and I was told that Ellie dies. Out of those three things, one was a lie. Thank God. The Ellie didn't die, which we'll get to. I'm not going to get into every minor detail of this game and all that, but there are some things you just need to talk about with spoilers. Joel dying was an emotional experience. One that was completely disgusting and gross and brutal, and I felt disgusted. You truly become a monster in this game. And from both sides, Abby and Ellie. For me, I didn't, I knew Joel was going to die. I didn't know he was dying that fast in the game. And he really becomes the catalyst for this. And, some games can make a character a catalyst, and it can also kind of just be, okay, this is the MacGuffin to get her on this. But it really felt like an emotional stake to what was going on. And I really love how they were able to play around with the flashbacks in here. The flashbacks were flippin' phenomenal. I mean, every single one added something more to the story in such a unique and amazing way that I was absolutely stunned. Each time every single one of these flashbacks came up, especially with Ellie, I was near tears. I was near, just, oh my God, wow, and it was really bringing back different emotions and memories and all sorts of stuff like that. But yeah, knowing Joel died, it still was an emotional experience, one that really was a travesty and just sank my heart and just completely destroyed me, where I wanted to kill Abby. I wanted to fucking kill her so bad, and especially when I started playing her as her in the beginning, I'm like, this is gonna be the girl who kills Joel. And the subtlety of when Joel and Tommy end up saving her, and she finds out the name, you see her just look. The acting in that moment, the acting in this whole entire game is flippin' phenomenal. They're all fantastic, but the acting in her face and the subtlety and the motion capture in there was just absolutely brilliant, the way that they were able to really capture that inside the limelight. I love that sequence. It was absolutely brilliant. And just in that moment, when you find out, and then they all get back to the house, and everyone kind of just hears that his name is Joel, and the shotgun just shoots him in the leg, I was like, fuck! No! And he died, and right in front of Ellie, which was just, again, heartbreaking. So then you go about Ellie, and for a second I thought, oh, that's it. You're not going to play as Abby anymore. We're going to play as Ellie for the majority of the game. And, for the first act, you do play as Ellie. The upgrading, the guns, the stealthily, killing off these friends one by one. Dina was phenomenal in this game. What another great additional character. Her and Jesse were flipping great. I love what they were able to do with both those characters, and really made me come to love them pretty fast inside this game. And Ellie and Dina's relationship just grew into such a great dynamic that I just get so giddy over talking about, because I love them together. And again, Ellie's one of my favorite gaming characters of all time. This game just established it even more. She might even be my favorite one of all time now, just after playing this game. It's coming to a point where Ellie ends up killing you can feel she's starting to get shaken up after she kills Nora, and then she ends up killing Mel and Owen. And Mel is pregnant, which really shook her to her core. She goes back to the theater, they're all relaxing, and then Abby shows up, kills Jesse, and it cuts to black. And you go to Abby's point of view, where you start playing from her side, seeing all the parallels. And this is something else I knew. I knew that why Abby went after Joel was because her father was that surgeon, which was really clever to like make that surgeon character, who really was a minuscule role, he's so important in part 2, and what brilliance that was from Neil Druckmann. And again, this becomes the big risk, is playing as Abby. And having to make us somewhat care about her. Now, this is the part I think everyone's going to be very iffy on, is if you care about her or if you don't. I came to care about her to a certain degree. And I think a lot of that is because it parallels a lot of different dynamics throughout the first Last of Us game and the second one. First off, she plays a lot like Joel. She's a bigger, heavier built person. She plays like Joel. Brutal, all that stuff. Once Lev came into play, that's where I was like, oh, Lev's like the Ellie to Abby, and Abby's like the Joel to Ellie. I get that dynamic. Really like that parallel. That was really smart of them. And a majority of the game, it felt like that, especially when you're going through that. Some of her story was a little bit slow, but it was still appreciative, and I like that different point of view. And some people will be like, well, Zach, you said this is a perfect game. It is, because it paid off. This whole dynamic of playing as Abby was very unique. And again, something I felt sick about playing right when it started, but once you kind of start to click in, well, this person also has a family. This person has friends. If we were playing from Abby's perspective, from the beginning, from the very first Last of Us, we would fucking hate Joel and Ellie. We would hate them to kingdom come. We didn't. We played from Ellie, and I think that's why a lot of people get mad about this game. And I've always thought about this in a different way. You know, she might be a little bit more brutal. She might be with a camp that's not the best. But I think deep down we can see that she is a caring person, and that her father's death really was a catalyst for her to go on that revenge path. And I again, they did a really good job for me building that up. And you know, I wouldn't say I love Abby. Well, I love her character. I wouldn't say I was totally with her. Like, that whole boss sequence between Abby versus Ellie when you're playing as Abby, I thought, like, that's when I thought, oh my god, Ellie's gonna die. This is how the game's gonna end. You're gonna have to fight Ellie. You're gonna kill her. I don't want... So I kept dying as Abby. I'm like, can we just change this? Can Abby just die and Ellie survives? But Abby ends up letting Tommy... which I thought Tommy died. Holy crap, he survived. He ends up letting Ellie and Dina live to go about their life. And I think a lot of that is because of Lev. And I think that was the cycle of breaking. She broke that violent cycle right then and there. She could have killed him, but she doesn't. Walks off, skips over a couple, maybe around a year or so, and Dina's giving birth to her kid. Her and Ellie are living great on a farmstead. Everything seems so perfect. I'm like, this is going to be the end of the game. Psych! It's not. She starts having PTSD about Joel. Tommy comes back into play. And yeah, she goes back on a set of revenge. And again, that cycle continues. She heads to California. And of course, it also flashes back to Abby, which I was sitting there. I'm like, please don't make us play as Abby the whole entire time. I really think this is an Ellie-centric game, but I think Abby's story is very important. She ends up getting captured by these guys named the Rattlers, who we don't know what they were doing. I'm assuming they were making people fight clickers and all that stuff. I don't really know. That's kind of what I was just assuming. But you know, Abby gets captured by them. A couple months span, Ellie gets there. I'm assuming by the time we'll get to that part. I'm getting ahead of myself, guys. Pretty much, you know, when it gets to that moment of Ellie finding Abby in this compound, it was just, you know, I'm like, is Ellie... I literally thought both of them were going to die. Because they say a lot of revenge stories, you know, if you're going out on revenge, they always say to pretty much have 2 coffins ready, because you're probably going to end up dying too. And I would go as far to say, I think if Ellie would have continued to fight Abby, they both would have ended up dying in a certain way. But Ellie broke the cycle herself, and Abby was done. Ellie was done. The revenge story was done. And I think right then and there, Ellie knew in that very moment that was not what we wanted. And a flashback right before then, again, I said the flashbacks were really, really well done in here. Everything with Joel was fantastic in here. And it was just absolutely brilliant how they were able to bring that about. Really playing out about this is how Ellie was able to play around in that flashback. The last thing we see is that her and Dina they kiss. We see that flashback right before the night Joel died, and she screams at him and gets pissed at him, and that was the last words that we thought. But the game keeps going on. Ellie survives. She makes it back. Dina has moved on, which really did break my heart that Dina wasn't there. I know Neil Druckmann's talked about doing a part 3. I kind of want a part 3, but then I think this also ended so perfectly, the same way that the first one also ended so perfectly. So it's definitely going to be interesting if he decides to do one. I don't know if it will be with Ellie or Abby or Lev. I could see him doing, but it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting what they decide to do. I think there's still some story to be told here with all the characters, but we'll see. We'll definitely see. I want some more Dina. I really love that character. I can't emphasize that enough. But she goes inside the house. Everything's gone except her room of art and music. Dina just left it there. And it really breaks my heart in that moment because I really wanted them to end up together. And, maybe in the future they will. I don't think so. I think Ellie's more of a lone wolf at this point, which, again, breaks my heart. And I definitely cried multiple times throughout this game. But when she starts playing the guitar and it flashes back to that Joel on the porch and Ellie coming up, and pretty much in a sense that was her start to forgive. Part of that flashback was you see, throughout the majority of this game we think that they just ended on bad terms and that she feels regret not fixing that. Truly her regret was because her and Joel were just starting to piece stuff back together, that he dies the next day. And I feel like she feels regret that she took so long. It seems like it's been 2 years that she's been holding this grudge against him, and it really was heartbreaking for me in that moment to see that flashback, and that's the flashback that started making me cry. It flashes back, she puts the guitar down, and you see her walking off in the distance, and it ends there. And I said, fuck, I'm a freaking wreck. This was absolutely one of the best games I've ever played. I'm trying not to cry right now. I legit love this game. I think this game is perfect. I think this game is a masterpiece. I think it's so smart in the way that it's cycled that action, in the way that it looks at Abby and how you get her point of view, and you can really understand. You don't have to care about her, but you really need to come to understand that that's why they made you play as her. And I think she became a very interesting character, to say the least, in the parallels between her and Joel and Ellie, and her and her dad and Lev. And Lev was an awesome character as well. I love this game. I'm going to go back through on New Game Plus right now, but I absolutely love this game. I would give it a 10 out of 10. This was definitely a more laid-back discussion type video, and I'm going to be doing more discussions like this, a full spoiler recap discussion with my friend Cody Curtis. My friend Ren also played the first Last of Us for the very first time. He's going through part 2 right now. I'm going to be definitely doing a video with him talking about his thoughts on Last of Us Part 2. And I also, Cody Leach and me have talked about doing a spoiler discussion on his channel, which again, all these different perspectives is why I'm so excited to keep talking about this game and keep talking about it, and I want to keep talking with you guys down below in the comment section. So if you guys are new here, again, hit that like and subscribe, and if you enjoyed The Last of Us, if you enjoy movie content, geeky content, video game content, whatever it is, hit that like and subscribe button so you don't miss out on content like this over here on a daily basis, as well as comment down below, let me know your guys' thoughts. Again, I want to hear your guys' thoughts. Let's have a nice conversation down there. If you watched this video and you got spoiled, awesome. Again, I wasn't here to explain anything, I guess. I tried my best to really just have a nice conversation. I got this cool little statue though, and I love it so much. I love this fucking game so much. I'm in tears. I'm a wreck. Neil Druckmann, your crew and cast, everyone around you, I really acclaim you. What a wonderful game this is. This is gonna go down as one of my favorite games of all time, right there with the first one. Not ready to say it's my favorite game of all time yet, just like the first one, but it's gonna be there soon. I have a feeling. This was an emotional experience and one that I can't wait to replay. So thank you guys again so much for watching this. And of course, until next time, stay classy.